Mark here for another great Wisdom and Knowledge 5 podcast. Well, if you think that you live in a free country, you could not be further from the truth. This week, I just got banned from TikTok for what? For posting clips of my podcast. So, speaking out, do not have freedom of speech. So be sure to follow me on Instagram. Let me just pull it up right here. And there is my profile right there. You can find me under Wisdom and Knowledge 5. So be sure to go there and follow me over on Instagram if you are on Instagram. So many people are sucked into, you know, this, that, and the other, whether it be politics, whether it be, following certain, people who are influencers, you name it, and they rely on their every word. They think, hey, this person's going to say me, this person is, the one. It's like, I'm sorry, do whatever you want. I'm all about freedom. Do whatever you want with your life. But for me, every word of God proves true. And, you know, this is the way, not somebody speaking out who may claim in the name of God and then you see their actions and it's like they're lying left and right, they're doing this and that. You, in today's day and age, you cannot rely on one word. Don't take my word for things, look things up. You know, if you look at what's going on in society in this country, and I'm all about we need to be proactive. We need to be doing things, to better ourselves, to better this world. And, God has given us the tools to not only be a voice, but to, go out there and do what we're called to do. And we're not called to be, out here following this, that, and the other. We're not. And we're not called to live in a dystopian, you know, n nightmare type of a world. We're not called to be, authoritarian ruled mass surveillance state like they're pushing, like the world's shifting towards. So if the world's shifting towards this, and a lot of people saw this, in 2020, they took a stand. Why would you just sit back and say, hey, look, no, everything's going to be good, everything's going to be good, everything's going to be good? No, you have to, and that's why I speak out. That's why I take a stand. And it's not about, speaking out and taking a stand the whole time. It's about, and oh, I can't enjoy my life. I got to speak out. I got to take a stand. No, no. Enjoy your life, but be alert, be focused, and, stand for what is right in this world. Stand for humanity, stand for, human rights, stand for what you believe in, because we have the power to be the solution in this world. I've said it before. I know that we will, you know, fight this battle and we will, stand up and do what's right because that's what we're called to do. I myself know that I'm called to do that. I'm not called to sit back and, this, that, and the other, and I have standards, just like everyone who, got what's going on in 2020, took a stand, saw censorship, see censorship today. They have standards. They get what's going on in the world. They don't let things affect you. They don't say, hey, oh, oh, Mark was banned from TikTok for posting his podcast clips. Oh, no, now he can't speak it. No. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So we have to be vocal as can be now. We have to continue to be vocal as can be. And yes, we're called to go out and enjoy ourselves too, definitely. We're called, to do things for enjoyment, whether it be going to the beach, going to a concert, hanging out with friends, you name it. You know, do it while you still can, because this thing is, coming down. And it's not, I'm not here for doom and gloom. I'm just awareness. Hey, keep a heads up as to what's going on in the world, you know, and stand for what's right. And don't fall into the trap of, I'm going to follow this person, I'm going to follow that person. Yeah, this person, that person, and the other, whoever it may be that you're listening to. Yeah, they may provide some great information. They may not provide some great information. You don't know. That's the thing. Don't rely on their every word, is what I'm saying. You know, knowledge is power. This podcast is called Wisdom and Knowledge, and that's what I like to, present when I interview people and when I'm speaking out myself like I am right now. We have to, look at this world differently, you know, because we are not called to be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds, of course. And if we are transformed, we should be able to discern, to be able to tell not only what's going on in the world, but what's right, what's evil, what's good, what's bad, and so forth. So when you are out there, getting your information or whatever you may be doing, don't rely on somebody's every word. And when stories come out and it's very conveniently come out at a certain time, you know, and everyone, all the truthers out there, so to speak, or free thinkers, whatever you want to call us, we're all like, why are they putting this out right now? Yeah, very convenient time. So what we need to do is to not get sucked into this, that, and the other, not to get sucked into these stories, these games, that the media, the certain people are playing because, like, you know, like a good friend of mine, Phil, says, who really gets what's going on in the world more than anyone else I know. He says the world is a stage full of Luciferian actors, each one playing its part. And it's so true. I'm sorry, but it is, you know? So we need to be able to decide, be able to discern, to tell, you know, what is truth, what is false, and really comprehend what is going on in the world because, you know, we are called to be a light in this world. We are called to stand up. We're not called to sit still and, hey, I'm just going to be silent. And if anything, 2020 brought to light that people were not being silent because people were taking a stand across the world from, UK to France to all over, Canada, you name it. People were taking a stand and they were saying, hey, this doesn't add up. This is an agenda. It's and I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to submit to forced injections. I'm not going to submit to these rules. No. While the billionaires made billions during that time and still are, you know, we're not called to be ruled by billionaires and the, elites and the Rothschild, you name it, you know. And the more people wake up, the more people understand what's going on, you know, the better we can be in society, hands down. People understand what's going on in the world, it'll be a much better society than those who are lulled to sleep, who buy every which narrative that they're pushing, whether it be the media, you name it. Because so many people are sucked into, well, this is truth, and they're sucked into the news, and they're sucked into this, that, and the other. Imagine if everyone just shut off the news, how much greater our world and society would be. Hands down. You know, it'd be so much better, if people would just focus on other things. Hands down, it would be better. But, sadly, people are so sucked into this, that, and the other, they can't comprehend what's truth and what's false. And luckily, there is people out there like myself, like, many others, like the people I interview, you name it, who can comprehend what's going on in the world, who are taking a stand, who are speaking out, who are being a light in this world. And that's what it takes. That's what it hands down takes. And you have to be, you know, uh, not only have discernment, but you have to be confident. You have to say, hey, look, I get what's going on in the world. And it can't be, doom and gloom. It's just a raising awareness. You know what I mean? And being alert and being prepared for whatever could happen. That's what it takes. That is what it hands down takes. And, luckily there's a lot of people out there who do get it, who understand what's going on, who are, being a light in this world, speaking out. Luckily we live in a society where, yeah, we can use things like technology to our advantage because through technology, I can, broadcast a podcast episode. I can interview people. I can reach out on social media to people and share posts, share videos. We can all comment. We can all be, hey, this doesn't add up, or this and that and the other, and encourage each other and be a light in each other's days. And that's what it takes. So for us, to be able to come out and be difference makers in this world. And when people see us, what we are doing, they're going to say, hey, more and more people are going to say, hey, look, I want to be like this. And they're going to want to be like we are. And, or maybe we're sharing something with them that maybe they're in the dark, as to what happened in 2020 or what's going on now, or you name it. They're in the dark and you share some truths with them from a common sense aspect that they can comprehend because we live in a society where it is so dumbed down, so to speak, or so many people are bought into this, that, and the other that they can't comprehend. But if we put it in terms where they can comprehend, then we can fully make a difference in and changing the world, reshaping the world. Because every time you wake someone up, you're making a difference, hands down. And I'm out here to be a light in this world. I'm out here. I do this, you know, not only because I enjoy doing it, but I want to share truth. I want to share knowledge. I want to share, what is going on in the world. And I want to speak up. I want to be known as somebody who took a stand, who's, doubt what's going on in the world, took a stand, also enjoys life, you know, knows what he wants out of life. You name it. So, I want to be an encouragement to others, and that's why I bring guests on, whether it be, last one was John L. Potash, who did the documentary Shot Eugenics, Two Pandemics. And if you haven't checked out that podcast episode, you really need to check that out and check out his uh, documentary. But it was a great podcast episode. And there's just, so much that people can learn by, you know, listening to a podcast episode or watching a documentary or doing this, that, and the other. And another thing too, and I kind of brought this up in the interview with uh, John, is the predictive program side of things. People are like, I know a lot of people, maybe they shut off their TV, they don't watch TV, they don't watch, movies, but there's so much you can get. from movies, from TV, because there's so much predictive programming. And I'm somebody who, when I was living in LA, you know, I did these shows for a while. You know, I worked on TV shows as a background actor. I was in this, industry. So I can tell you hands down that I'm not saying all of them, but there are some shows and movies that are complete predictive programming. And I can tell you hands down that I have been a part of it unknowingly, at the time when you wake up to the, truth. And this was years ago. I stopped doing it in 20, what was it? 2017 or early 2018 around then. So, but yeah, so you can learn something from these shows and movies. And anyways, I just want to encourage people to, keep their heads up, understand what's going on in the world, continue to stand up, be a light, make sure that you enjoy your life too, of course, and, you know, do what you enjoy doing, but be alert because, this world and this world has always had its things, its problems, you name it, but this world is not, like it was. It's radically shifting. Whether you think about things like Agenda 2030, which they are ramping up, uh, you name it. I talked to somebody, I was chatting with somebody yesterday, and they're like, oh, but, they really can't do Agenda 2030. They'll never accomplish that. And it's like, well, they're already pushing towards that. They're already doing things it's like, how do you, and you can be civil when having these type of conversations with them. Well, why do you think that way? Why do you think that they'll never be able to accomplish it? And of course, if all of humanity stood up against it, they wouldn't be able to accomplish it because we outnumber them with strength in numbers, you name it. But, to say, oh, they'll never accomplish it. Okay, you're entitled to say that, definitely. But, it takes all of us to be a light in this world, to stand against things, to stand against them accomplishing things like that, because we actually want a future. We actually want to live in a world that we can go and, do what we want to do, whether it be going to the beach, going to a concert, you name it, you know, go out in nature and enjoy hike, whatever it may be, we want to live in a world. And I don't know about you, but this country, at least I thought, was founded on freedom. So we shall see what happens in the future, but we have to be alert, we have to be focused, we have to have discernment, we have to get, you know, uh, what's going on in the world. And not only that, be a light in this world. That's what it takes, hands down. So I just wanted to come on this week and just, encourage people to, you know, continue to gain knowledge, continue to, understand, fully comprehend what is going on in the world. And when you see things that come out, whether it be, on Instagram or other whatever social media platforms you're on, or if you're somebody who's sucked into watching it, which I hopefully those that are listening to this are not sucked into watching news. Anyways, uh, when you see something come out, say, hey, why are they putting this out now? And be able to discern, what is really going on and also what you focus your attention on because, you know, so many people waste their time focusing on the wrong things. So we have to focus our attention on the right things. Anyways, much love to everyone who is tuning in to Wisdom and Knowledge 5. Be sure to follow me, like I said, on Instagram because I've been banned on TikTok, which is no surprise. I mean, when they had that hearing in the back a year and a half ago, and the CEO from TikTok came out, and then the CEO from TikTok comes out, we have a free platform. Free platform? No, they do not have a free platform. Can you speak about chemtrails? No, I've had countless friends banned for speaking about chemtrails, for speaking about, the COVID agenda, which is what I was banned for, you know, uh, speaking out against certain countries. And it's like, yeah, that's not freedom. So, anyways, much love to everyone. Be sure to click that subscribe button. Got some great, podcast episodes coming up, some great guests, and keep at it and continue to be a light in this world because you are making a difference, and that's what it takes. Much love.